probably the biggest direction is to make the software as easy to use as possible. It really doesn't follow the same paradigms that the older softwares used to, which really were based around more of an analog mixer mentality. This is just a fresh approach, really. It's much more sort of familiar, left, right, everything in process. And that's really the biggest design direction, really, is to make it as easy as possible, as fast, presenting the right tools that the user needs right when they need it, not having to dig through various screens and menus to get to it. So that's kind of it in a nutshell.
And what kind of input did you get to push you in this direction? Where did you guys start getting the information from saying, hey, the old model, can you improve on this at all?
To be honest, it kind of didn't work that way. Mackie, obviously being a hardware company, a few years back when we started getting into the computer peripheral market, we actually looked at various options for software, because obviously if we're selling an interface to complete the entire package, you obviously need software to be able to record with. So we had various options. One option was obviously to do an OEM deal with one of the other software companies who have been established, or the better option that we thought was to actually find our own piece of software. At the time there was a chap in England, young guy about our age, Jules, who had actually written Tracktion and had got it to its first stages. And Ken Berger, our at the time our senior vice president of product management and marketing, met him, and they got on, and Ken saw the vision in the software. So we then basically took Tracktion on from Jules. He remained involved for some time, but now he's been not involved for quite a while now. Tracktion 3 is all new. There's a new programmer involved. But so basically, we saw the sort of genius in his idea, but we certainly couldn't take full credit for that one. We then obviously just developed it from there. So, obviously big for Tracktion 3 is the whole time stretching and pitch shifting, which was the final piece in the puzzle to sort of bring it up to date. So I'm very happy of where we are with the program now. And going into the future, we've got various options for taking it into either, more performance-based or, continue on the recording route simultaneously. And, so it's a bright future. But the underlying sort of, the underlying design sort of ethos on it is keep it as fast and easy to use. We don't want to go super complicated. We don't want to look super technical. If you pull up a big Pro Tools session or a big Logic session or Performer, a lot of the older, more established softwares, they can become pretty intimidating pretty fast, and that's what we're trying to avoid with Tracktion, but not limiting its functionality as well. It's actually very hard to do that. But
now the Mackie D4 is going to ship with Tracktion 3. Yes. Now for the user who has never used Tracktion, they look at the D4 and they say, I'll have that. Yeah. And now here is Tracktion 3. It's this whole new world for them. What should they expect out of Tracktion 3 out of the box?
Well, straight out of the box, you actually get the project pack, which is the same $99 retail pack that obviously you can buy in the stores. So out of the box, you obviously get Tracktion 3, the application itself, and all the associated bundled loops and third-party plugins. And you also get a half-hour getting started video. So even for people who are really buying something like the D4 for its DJ potential, and haven't really thought about production so much, can just watch the video and get started very easily. I mean, again, it's all part of the process of making the software approachable, making it straightforward, and getting people making music quickly.
Well, it's funny because in a lot of the DJ interviews I do, they all say the same thing. It's like, well, I'm branching out into production, or I've been in production for a while. This is the first time that I have seen a hardware-software bundle that is designed to push people in that direction as DJs. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, the D4 is pretty revolutionary with the Firewire, and I myself used to be a big DJ in London, and I produce, and to be honest, I mean, the amount of production I do usually involves overdubbing single instruments at a time, maybe one or two. Like most home producers, it's kind of a nice way of working. Something like the D4 with the Firewire card gives you all the interface built in and enough channels of you've got the Onyx mic pre's in there, so you've got kind of an Onyx mixer and a Firewire interface all built into the box with enough connectivity to hook up, synths and samplers and drum machines, microphones, pretty much everything I would need anyway at my level to get a song produced as well. And then you can take that same mixer and you can take it DJing as well. So, So adding Tracktion really sort of rounds out that package.
Now, without giving away too many trade secrets here, was the D4 and Tracktion, was that designed as a package, or did you come up with Tracktion 3 and say, well, here is the perfect marriage between the hardware and the software?
To be honest, I mean, Tracktion 3 has been designed to work with our interfaces, but at this stage, the level of integration is nowhere near where it's going to be. I think generally sort of software systems are changing, so, you spend less time setting up and more time just getting on with music. So, I'm lucky because I know our roadmap, so when I say it's going to get a lot more integrated, I mean, obviously at the moment, a Firewire mixer, you simply plug it in and, and choose it as your device. I mean, it's not exactly hard to set it up, but the level of integration can obviously go way, way, way deeper than that. So, that's something we're looking at for the future, most certainly. When I say we're looking at performance versions of Tracktion, that's certainly an avenue that we're looking at. Not just DJing, but, generally performance as a whole, for live musicians as well.
So this is the first step in basically a larger world for Tracktion 3.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, as I say, Tracktion 3 is pretty fresh, it's pretty new. Every year we have more and more products that are integrated with computers, and as the number of products goes up, our requirements of Tracktion obviously go up with it. The whole computer interaction side of our business is certainly a large growing sector, but it's by far not the largest at the moment. So, we're pretty young in the market, and we've got a lot of space to grow. So,
great. Well, thank you very much.